Hi everyone, I'm Carrie. This is Otter Creek Homestead. Today I want to talk about chickens. Is anyone else having a lower production than is normal in the winter time? It's been nuts. I'm going to flip around and show you how many birds we have, and we'll talk a bit about it and a possible solution. I've been hearing a lot of talk on the interwebs, and I just wanted to get this out there and see if anyone else is having the same experience. Here's part of our crew. We have about 18 hens between the ages of 7 months and 2 years old. And we've had chickens for better than 10 years now. So we understand that winters are slower. In the past, we've put light, not heat, but light in our coop to increase production or keep production up a little better during winter. We didn't do that this year. We hadn't done it for a couple years. So, we were still used to lower egg production during winter. We had a few girls go into molt earlier in the fall, and that means they're kind of refreshing their feathers and they stop laying during that time. So we're used to that too. But we have girls that are almost a year old, girls that are almost 2 years old, and girls that are 7 months old, like 3 different batches of chicks that we got. And in September, our production started decreasing. So we thought it was just because molt, and then the other girls weren't that old, yada yada. So we were down to like 2 to 3 eggs a day in September, where we had been getting sometimes 7 or 8 eggs a day. So then we're down to 2 or 3. We're like, okay, it's molt, whatever, no big deal. We're used to that. They'll go through it and they'll be back in a couple months. And by then, our other girls should be producing eggs as well. Then by October, we're getting 0 eggs a day. Like, we went on vacation in the middle of October, and my mom came over and took care of the place. And so she was excited to get the eggs every day. She got 0 eggs for a whole week. She got 0 eggs, and that went on for a while. And then after those girls came out of molt, we started getting another 1, maybe 2 eggs a day. We got up to 3 was the most we ever got between October and basically yesterday. And today is January 11th. So we're trying to troubleshoot, like, what is going on? Is it because we have too many roosters? We have 4 roosters. We have 20 plus hens. We have intentions to cull a few roosters or to, rehome a few roosters, depending on what we end up doing. But we're like, is that the problem? And I mean, I didn't think it was excessive. It's not like we have 10, 2 hens to each rooster. We have about 6 hens to each rooster. So I didn't really think that was the problem. And so we were like, are we feeding them enough? Because for a while we did free choice. We let them eat, as much as they wanted all day. But we still give them scraps. They can go out every single day in free range. We toss them out a good bit. I can't tell you how much exactly, maybe a quart and a half of food every day. And maybe that, I could be wrong. It's a little bowl. It's a mixing bowl. And we toss that out. And sometimes we'll come back in the afternoon and toss them a little more. And they get veggie scraps and all that. So, are we giving them not enough food? Do we have too many roosters? We're like, what is the problem? So just last week, my husband had said, let's change their feed. Let's just get them a different feed. And I'll show you in a second what we've been feeding. So we have we usually always get our feed at Tractor Supply Company. And that's not in our nearest town. So that's like a 20 to 30 minute drive for us to go there. But we do have a local farm and garden store. And we like to feed non-GMO. We used to feed organic, but then during COVID, it was hard to get organic, so we switched to non-GMO. So we feed non-GMO. And we had been feeding Do More non-GMO, and I'll show you that in a minute. So he said, let me call them and see if they carry non-GMO. They didn't carry non-GMO, but they would order it for us. So last Friday, today is Wednesday the 11th, last Friday, our non-GMO feed was going to be in. Do you hear someone sneezing? Who is sneezing? So he picked that up on Friday. We switched their feed over the weekend. Again, today is Wednesday. So we were still down. Within the past month, we've gotten maybe 3 if we're lucky. Actually 2 or 3 if we're lucky. Sometimes 1 egg a day. Probably 2 or 3 days a week still we're getting 0 eggs. and we switched them over the weekend. So I think between Saturday and Sunday, we switched them over. So let's, I'll go in the barn and show you what we do feed. So this is what we've been feeding. Do More non-GMO 16% egg layer mini pullet. And you can see back here, we save the bags for projects or whatever. Do More, Do More, Do More. There's all kinds of Do More back there. That's what we've been feeding. There's more Do More down here. So I pulled the big bag out. Here we just kind of keep it in a 55-gallon barrel just to keep the rodents out. So I carried a bag out here just so we could get a better look at it. So here is what we switched to on Friday. So it's Kalmbach. I don't know if that's exactly how you say it, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. It's still non-GMO. This one is 17% protein. So I don't know, is it the protein or something different? So there had been some talk last week in a homesteaders group that we're in on Facebook that people were having the same problem. They were buying their feed from Tractor Supply. They were using Do More or Producer's Pride. Those were like the two brands that were mentioned. People were saying we were feeding Do More, we were feeding Producer's Pride, getting no eggs. And like, no eggs, if you have maybe 3 hens during winter and you're getting 0 eggs, okay, that might be okay. But if you have, we have 18 plus hens, we should not be getting 0 eggs, even in winter. No, that's not how it works. We're in Indiana, so it's not even that cold. The weather's not that bad. So it can't be that weather has impacted them that harshly. Anyhow, so people are saying, hey, this was happening to me. This is where I get my feed. This is the feed that I buy. Hi, baby. And I switched feed, and my hens started laying almost immediately. And there was some more talk about 2 amino acids. One is lysine, and the other one is methionine. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it, but I'll show you how to say it. Methionine, that's how I'm saying it. So we went and got Kalmbach on Friday. And so I thought I would show you just what our, he's looking for a snack, just what the differences were here. So here's lysine in the Do More non-GMO. It's minimum 0.85%. And the methionine is minimum 0.30%. And again, protein is 1% lower. That's a 16 and the other one is 17. So when we got Kalmbach, this is what it has. Lysine 0.90% compared to 0.85, and methionine, if that's how you say it, I'm sorry if it's wrong, 0.35 compared to 0.3. So clearly this has more protein, and those 2 amino acids specifically are more present in this feed than in the other feed that we were feeding. So anyhow, we switched out. We got this feed on Friday because they don't carry it. They don't carry non-GMO, but this is the brand they always carry. So I think we're just going to switch completely and order this from them all the time. But anyhow, he picks it up on Friday. We switch him out completely between Saturday and Sunday. And we're still getting like 3 eggs a day. Yesterday was Tuesday. Sunday, 3 eggs a day. Monday, we got 4 eggs. Tuesday, we had 5 eggs. We have not seen 4 or 5 eggs since like August. It's literally been 4 to 5 months since we've seen that many eggs. So just in the few days that we've switched our birds out and we've changed nothing else, they have the same water, same amount of water, the same, veggie scraps or whatever. We've given them nothing extra, nothing more. They still are allowed to get out in free range as they please. Isn't he just the prettiest barn cat? I just love him. He's the cutest. We've changed nothing else. The only thing we have changed is switching out from this non-GMO feed to this non-GMO feed, which clearly has a little more nutrition. So what I'm saying is, if your birds are doing the same, if you are thinking this isn't right, I should not be buying chicken feed and buying eggs when I have 20 plus hens, like at least 18 of them are of laying age. I should not be buying eggs and buying chicken feed. And I had to. Especially over Christmas when you're baking and cooking all the food, and we make homemade eggnog. So You can't make homemade eggnog if you're getting 1 to maybe 0 eggs a day. Anyhow, so I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I mean, that is not my gig. I don't do that. But it just got me to thinking, like, there's a big supposed egg shortage, and eggs are $5.99 a dozen at our local grocery store. Why, like, is somebody double dipping? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I buying the chicken feed and buying the eggs? Is someone double dipping? That's what I just want to know. Because I'm having to pay double because I was buying eggs and buying chicken feed. So is someone getting double the money from me, or, you know, extra little bit in their pocket because of the issue I'm having? I don't know if this was intentional. I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Something doesn't seem right. But anyhow, our girls are now on Kalmbach, and it seems like it's working for us. And I posted this on my Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, I hope you will. I'll put our little handle down here. So I had posted, I don't even have that big of a following. I had asked folks, like, I told them our story, like, we're getting almost no eggs. Like, we'll go through a whole week and maybe we have 10 eggs over a course of 7 days. And we have this many hens, and that's not, you know, it's just not right. And I had at least a dozen people write me and say, yes, yes, yes. And this was last Wednesday or Thursday that I posted this. And people were saying, yes, this is happening to me. Yes, I get my feed here. This is the brand that I buy. And I've had, so far yesterday, I had 2 people reply to me and as a follow-up and say, hey, we switched out our feed. Here's Pretty Jack. We switched out our feed, and we're getting more eggs now. And it happened almost immediately, like within a day or 2, they started getting more eggs. So anyway, just putting that out there. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it just, something seems a little fishy to me that there's an egg shortage, and that all of these, you know, home growers or homesteaders, people who are trying to provide for their own, are using a mass manufactured feed and having these kind of problems. Anyway, thanks for joining us. If you haven't subscribed, Jack hopes that you will, and we hope we'll see you again. Until then, y'all take care. And if you are having a problem, comment below. Tell us about it. I'd love to get a conversation going. Y'all have a nice day. Bye now.